A fun question I ask at the start of every school year is for all my right-handers to raise their right hand. And it almost seems that the entire class is right-handed. So it's all these right-handers. Then I have students raise their hand if they're left-handed. So our left-handers. And I'm one of the few left-handers in class. And I have this question of why do we even have handedness? Why is it right versus left? When was that decision made and why was it made? And the answer really comes down to the human brain. When we're born, our brain pretty much functions as this big unit, and people don't even have handedness. Eventually, though, we have these two hemispheres, and we start organizing tasks in the hemispheres. It's just like your clothes. If you have your clothes in a pile, it might be hard to find something, but if you put your clothes in a top drawer, in a bottom drawer, and you know where to go grab it, it's more efficient. Our brain's pretty similar. It organizes tasks left and right or front and back, and as a result, it can access that information more quickly. So the other interesting thing to know about that is that the wiring kind of crosses that a lot of the tasks for the right brain cross over to the left. And a lot of the tasks that are organized in the left brain cross over to the right. So for most of you right-handers, or actually I really should say for all of you who are right-handed, your handedness somehow is organized in the left side of the brain. And for the few of us who are left-handers, our handedness is organized in the left side of the brain. So research has shown the brain's, of course, a very complex organism, and things are left and right, but they're also front and back and outside and inner. But we're going to use this idea of the left and right brain to just sort of help us approach art making. And part of the issue is that for most people, we really are left brain dominant, hence all the right-handers. And that dominance really works. There seems to be some tasks that the left brain really does handle. The left brain handles symbols. And symbols are fantastic things because symbols can include just so many things, but even just the idea of numbers. You know, for example, if I write the number 132, these, of course, are just symbols: straight line, curved line was straight. I didn't have to go and count out 132 little pebbles for you to understand that. And the same thing with like letters. You know, A, B, C, D. If I use symbols to spell this C-A-T, instantly this left brain jumps in, and it's super fast and organized. Cat, 132. But there is a problem with that. The problem is that sometimes the left brain jumps in with symbols when really we need to slow down and observe what's really in front of us. And we're going to use this left brain, right brain to sort of help us understand how to draw. And so I've drawn a cartoon where I took my left brain, right brain drawing and sort of made it into sort of this dominant, if I could say, bully side. And the right side is going to be more my artist. The left side got these symbols and quick answers. The right side looks at relationships. Is this tall compared to that? Is it curved or is it straight? It looks at proportions. You know, is this twice the size or half the size? And it is interesting how it plays out. At the beginning of the year, I asked students to draw a realistic face from their imagination. And using this model, this is kind of what happens. What should happen is that the right side should sort of take over and really draw a face. Unfortunately, what usually happens is our left brain takes over, kind of this dominant side. And what it does is it starts giving us fast, symbolic answers. So I say, draw a face, and it says, I know what a face looks like. A face is basically round. Okay. Then one thing we love as human beings are eyes. So the brain, the left side is going to say a good face is going to have big eyes. And almost like a scientist, the left side is going to start giving me all these details. For example, maybe these eyes don't look great, so the left brain is going to say, let's add some details. Let's add eyelashes. Not looking that great, so we'll add more. Then the left brain might go to the mouth. The mouth's really important. In our mouth, our lips are basically these heart shapes. And of course, I need to be able to speak. In between the mouth and the eyes, obviously, are noses. So here's the nose. It's got two sides, a central kind of part, and two nostrils. I can draw the nostrils to make it look more realistic. And then, okay, we have ears. We don't really care about ears. Have you ever been in a crowd and said, wow, that person has beautiful ears? No. So we're going to draw them small because they're not important to our left brain. And then, of course, hair goes from the top of your head down. It's beautiful. And of course, I have my neck, and it sits on top of my shoulders. And that creates the drawing of a face. And for extra credit, I guess I drew a body too. So what's so funny, the reason why this image is so common is because really what we're seeing a collection of symbols. Not what an individual face looks like, but what a symbol. It's funny too the way it ends up looking so cartoonish, when in reality, it's almost like a scientific illustration. The football shape of the eye, the eyelashes, the sides, middle, and nostrils of a nose. It's strangely cartoonish, strangely scientific illustration, and totally symbolic. And what we're going to do is we're going to find activities that are going to help us get this bully to sort of quiet down and let this artist side of us step in and work. And I call it shifting from the left to the right, but in reality, it's more complex than that. It's definitely a whole brain activity, but for us, it's fun to think of it this way. So that's a fun way to start thinking of the left brain versus the right brain.